Hello and welcome to another video, and I'm doing a video on why I like Regular Show. I really like Regular Show. There's a lot of people, well, not that I know, there's only two people that I can really think of that really like Regular Show as much as myself. But yeah, I think it's really just a good show, really. I don't know, I mean, it's got its own sort of vibe, but it still feels right. it feels like it takes a lot of inspiration from other animation stuff. So I know the creator wanted it to be like Rocko's Modern Life and or Simpsons, and or some of the Treehouse specially ones maybe, or just Simpsons, yeah, I guess. But I don't know, I really like it. It's got its own sort of distinctiveness and that personality and charm, definitely. And if you sort of grew up in the late 90s and that, and I don't know, it just makes a lot of like references to sort of the 90s, 80s and that, and just old sort of stuff, like retro-y stuff, like retro video games and Medium and that. Like the Format Wars episode is literally just an episode about like old, you know, tech fighting other tech, or new tech, should I say. And then there's like, you know, some sequels here and there of ideas they've done previously. The creator also like does like some sketches and or work on a sticky note and says if you can make someone laugh with just the constraint of a sticky note and that, then yeah, use that. That's how they get about doing stuff sometimes, and that, you know, it's very, yeah, creative in that respect. The character's very memorable of like Rigby and Mordecai, and I think they're two of the best, if not the best, cartoon sort of friendship and that. I would say Dipper and Mabel are a close second, but then to be fair, they're not friends, they're family, so you know, it's not the exact same thing. Whereas even though Rigby and Mordecai aren't family, they're so connected together within the show and that, and you know, they go through some stuff, like actual stuff. Yes, sometimes it's very outlandishly cartoony, but then it can be brought back at times to something a bit more down to earth, but then there's a cheap gag and a bit of a stupid moment, you know, and that's what Regular Show is. I think it's just a bit of an up and down scale of like, you know, 1 minute it's sort of zany and cartoony, but then it goes down into this emotionally thing, but it somehow balances that all well, really, I think, or it, yeah, paces itself well in terms of the episodes and that. Mark Hamill, I want to say, Luke Skywalker, I only found this out recently, voices Skips, which I didn't know that. Benson is a great character. They originally were very one-note sort of characters, I felt like, but after a while, well, not one note, but there was just one sort of distinct characteristic of them. But obviously, like in life, I guess, as you meet or put more time and effort into getting to know this person, and or in this case these characters, you know, you get to see these characters in different lights and different perspectives, and different things happen in which you find out stuff. Like, for example, you later on find out why Rigby's so sort of just a goofball and a bit of a class clown, because to be fair, in his defence and in his own words, what's the point? I'm never going to amount to anything. No one ever sort of takes me seriously and actually, you know, ever thinks that I can amount to anything more than just being the bit of an idiot, and I can never focus, and I can never do this, and I can never do that. You know, he can't focus on things. He's always been called lazy, but he finds it difficult to focus on things, and then people call him lazy, and then people wonder why he just never breaks that mold, you know, and that, and you know, it's just, yeah, it's a really good message to give to kids, I guess, as well, because lots of kids are very, you know, off the walls and crazy and this and that, but you know, and as well, it's very good in the sense that, as I say, like, best TV cartoon sort of relationship between two characters on a friendship level, you know. Yes, it's not as mature and or like I don't know, like it's not as intense a relationship in the same way as a live action-y thing might be, but it does the same sort of things there, or it hits those same beats, but is aiming it as well to a younger audience. I think Regular Show, although it's on Cartoon Network, I think it's best suited demographically, I would say, for teens and young adults, actually. There are quite a lot of jokes that might go over some kids' heads here and there, and as well, I just think the characters are written in a way where you could identify with them more if you were a teen and or young adult, whereas if you're a kid, you might only like the quirky one of maybe Pops, or the, you know, laziness of Rigby, and all the, you know, sort of in the first few seasons, the sort of weekly Saturday cartoon-esque Deus Ex Machina type tool that is Skips. Early on anyway, Skips gets way more development later on, but in the first sort of early seasons they very much use him as the Deus Ex Machina tool of, oh my god, there's a problem, let's ask Skips, Skips fixes it, which I think is very self-aware of the people behind it, though. I think either that or I'm just giving them way too much credit. As always with cartoons these days, there's also comic books and that, and there's quite a bit of merchandise and that, which is great for those of us who really like the show, which I do, and I, as I say, I really identify with the characters. I know one of my friends at college, Harvey, would definitely I liked Regular Show and that, and I think I would say if I was to pick a character he's most like, I would say personally Rigby, even if I identify with that character as well, but out of the two of us, yeah, he's more the Rigby and probably more the Mordecai out of the two of us, but yeah, and as I say, like, there's, much like The Simpsons, I guess there's sort of, well, there's this universe as well, well, not even universe, but like sort of world as well, like, you know, after a while they venture outside the park, and there's more stuff out and about, but the very similarities, like, you know, the Moe's Tavern, there's a coffee shop in Regular Show, they often go there. Mordecai's love interests there, being Margaret. You know, and then there's like, you know, there's the house, which is always just there in the middle of the park. One thing I will say that I do love about the park is that there's no way you would ever be able to draw a map of that thing, because no matter when you think there's nothing there anymore, there's just a random thing there now, like a zoo or a old ballroom or something, you know, like, you know, there's always something new, and I do like that about the park, to be honest. And the parodies of like pop culture as well are very good. There's Halloween specially episodes, there's a lot of variety, like there's episodes where, as I say, they do a sort of parody on both Transformers, being like the Playco action figure type things of like Carter and Briggs, which again is a parody. Then they do like this out of proportion anime-esque sort of, you know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers type out of this world scale sort of parody, which I thought was hilarious. There's a movie, for goodness sake, a Regular Show movie, which, yeah, if that doesn't tell you it's not successful, it is, clearly, because the, yeah, Cartoon Network greenlit a movie, for fuck's sake. It's very, yeah, 80s-esque with, like, even the typography and or the sort of style of the movie logo is very sort of 80s sort of cop movie-esque, sort of buddy cop movie type font, I think, and that. And the movie's great as well, like, you know, it's just, there's just a lot of great stuff with the Regular Show, and I just really like it. I mean, it's probably the cartoon currently on Cartoon Network, for me anyway, that I watch the most, really. And that, you know, I don't know, it's weird, although it's done in an animated format, it's so simplistically done and or not overly sort of hitting me over the head with its animation and visual cues that I feel like the characters can sort of pop out the screen more than the visuals, you know. I think with, say, something like Adventure Time, or in particular Amazing World of Gumball, I think the visuals for that in particular can be a bit overwhelming to me at times, that I can't keep up with the episode or the characters and what they're doing, whereas with regular show the art style is probably one of the weaker bits of it. Probably it's very simplistic, but in having it simplistic it makes it probably easier to make. First of all, makes it more sort of there's a longevity there, I'm assuming. When you go back it won't be dated as much, and thirdly as well it makes it fairly iconic and feel like just like a cartoon from the off-go, you know. It's not trying to do anything more than be a cartoon, if that makes sense. Like with the visual or with the zany visuals of Amazing World of Gumball being 1 minute this, then next minute being something else, and this thing and that thing, it feels like it's trying to prove to you that it can be more than just a cartoon, or what you think a cartoon is, which is 2D animation. It can be stop motion, it can be digital-y, yeah, done, or, you know, it can be sock puppets one episode or something, do you know what I mean? Whereas with the regular show it's got very contained art style, but really good cast and villains, and or, yeah, like Gary Bobby Ferguson, and really good, yeah, characters and that I really like, and Christmas specials and Halloween specials, a movie, you know, there's a lot, and a lot of episodes in between, so I really liked the regular show, and if you haven't already checked it out, I strongly recommend it.